divorce coaching company, a practice where I support clients going through the divorce process, either pre, during, or post-divorce, really helping them, guide them through this process. Because I think initially everyone thinks when you go through divorce, the first call you need to make is to a lawyer, when in actual fact it should be to a divorce coach. Because I can help navigate the process in terms of what type of divorce they want, set them up with some really vetted professionals that will support them along the way, and then really think about what it is that they want moving forward, and not spend the tens of thousands of dollars that your lawyer will end up charging you right off the bat.
As a certified divorce financial analyst, basically what I do is I take all of the financial information pertaining to a divorce to assist in the litigation process, or hoping to avoid court and help out with settlement agreements. And I've been practicing as a CDFA since November of 2020 when I got my designation, but I've been a financial advisor licensed in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia for 14 years now.
Hi, Jason. How are you?
Hi, good, Cindy. How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining me today. Today we have Jason Zdyb from Zdyb Financial Limited in Edmonton, Alberta, to talk with me today about his role as a certified divorce financial advisor and how that works in the whole process of divorce. Me as a divorce coach, I see your role in the process as integral to the whole outcome and the creation of a settlement, and just to help make the financials super clear. So tell me a bit more about your role and how long you've been practicing.
Yeah, well, thanks very much for having me, Cindy. I consider it a privilege, truly, and this is great. As a CDFA, there's a lot that I can bring to the table and work with, divorce coaches, lawyers, and individuals as well. So, as a certified divorce financial analyst, basically what I do is I take all of the financial information pertaining to a divorce to assist in the litigation process, or hoping to avoid court and help out with settlement agreements. And I've been practicing as a CDFA since November of 2020 when I got my designation, but I've been a financial advisor licensed in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia for 14 years now.
Wow, yeah, that's great. And what brought you to it? You've been through divorce yourself, correct?
I have, yeah. It started off pretty amicable, as most of them, do, where you're trying to work together, and then it got pretty ugly. So when my divorce was finalized, I thought that there has to be a better way for people to try to, get through these things. And when I was speaking with a friend of mine who's also a financial advisor here in the area, he mentioned that he was doing his CDFA course. So I, of course, said, what's that? And he got into it, and he's a divorcee as well. So I started looking into it. I thought, what, this is a great way to add another piece to my financial services business, as well as, hoping to be able to help people, not go through some of the struggles and things that a normal litigation or divorce process can bring.
Yeah, definitely. I think that your own personal experience just adds so much value to your role, because it's sometimes, especially through something like divorce, it's hard to really empathize with the process unless you've really been in those shoes before and have learned from your experience. So do you work, you said you work along with the process, do you work in collaboration or as an alternative to court or mediation, or how do you fit in to the process?
Yeah, so great question, Cindy. So I can work with individuals, but mostly in my experience, I'm working with family lawyers, either litigators or through the collaborative process. Also, I can work with mediators as well. So for me, my role, I am the financial expert in all the financial aspects of divorce. That is what my designation entails.
Yeah, that's great. And at what point of the process do you ideally like to come in and become involved?
That's a great question too. Ideally, right from the beginning, as soon as, the lawyers or the individuals, find out that, there's these assets and things that need to be divided, and what's the best way to do that. So to answer your question wholeheartedly would be the sooner I can get in and get involved, and, the better.
Yeah, I really agree with that. Also, just from my own personal experience, I didn't know anything that there was a CDFA. I didn't even realize that you could have a financial advisor looking through all of those documents. And so once I then pursued that and found someone that I could bring into my team, it really created such clarity in the process. It made the numbers all of a sudden became black and white, and it was no longer this emotional battle of what we think we were owed, or what we think that we had a right to. And so it really helped to streamline the process. It helped to speed things up, and it reduced the arguments, actually, because you can't really argue with the numbers. I mean, you can argue with who wants how much of those numbers, but you really can't argue with it once it's on the page. And I felt like the moment I had a CDFA come into my process, that was when I felt more empowered myself, because things were clear, my financial picture was clear, everything became more understood, and the process started to move quicker. So I love that you said you come in right away. I think if I was to do divorce again, I'd go straight to a financial advisor first.
Yeah, well, and
started.
And I can totally appreciate where you're coming from. And
divorce coaching company, a practice where I support clients going through the divorce process, either pre, during, or post-divorce, really helping them, guide them through this process. Because I think initially everyone thinks when you go through divorce, the first call you need to make is to a lawyer, when in actual fact it should be to a divorce coach. Because I can help navigate the process in terms of what type of divorce they want, set them up with some really vetted professionals that will support them along the way, and then really think about what it is that they want moving forward, and not spend the tens of thousands of dollars that your lawyer will end up charging you right off the bat.
As a certified divorce financial analyst, basically what I do is I take all of the financial information pertaining to a divorce to assist in the litigation process, or hoping to avoid court and help out with settlement agreements. And I've been practicing as a CDFA since November of 2020 when I got my designation, but I've been a financial advisor licensed in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia for 14 years now. There's a difference from just, the financial planning aspect. What the CDFA role, really truly is how the rules around, the different rules with different legislations for pensions and assets are one thing when you're dealing in the financial planning process. It's another through matrimonial law, and how those assets are treated on the dissolution of marriage or breakdown of a marriage. That's where the rubber meets the road, where the CDFA, like myself as an expert, come in and can help people navigate, to what the rules are. And I always tell people up front, an equitable settlement doesn't necessarily need to be equal. There is a difference.
Right. That's so true. There can be balanced in very many different ways. So do you then typically work with clients who are coming to you because they're going through the divorce process, or do you work with them as their previous clients before, and you're working through that process? And do you stay with them after they've worked with you through that divorce process as their advisor?
No, great question. So normally, to date, since I've received my designation, I've been working with a few family lawyers, litigators here in town. and they've reached out to me that, hey, Jason, you're a CDFA. I'd like to bring you in and see, what can be done here. I have had some clients over my 14 years that, unfortunately marriages break down, and I do try to do my best. But now having the actual designation allows me to, go that much further. And your other question was in regards to, can I continue that planning? Is that your question?
Yes.
Yeah. So again, a great question. So when I'm working with an individual and their lawyer, I'm allowed to continue to be that person's financial advisor ongoing once a divorce order is signed or a settlement agreement is reached and filed with the courts. So people find a lot of value in that, Cindy, because it's not like, it's like, well, Jason, you know what, you helped me through one of the most troubling times in my life, along with my attorney, and I really don't want to have to start from scratch with somebody else. So that is something that I'm able to offer, is to continue on after that process is already complete.
That's great, because I think, finances are such a scary thing. And now that they've built that level of trust with you, knowing that they can, keep their money in your hands and build their wealth for their new chapter in the future, probably gives them such a great peace of mind and sense of security going forward, because you've already seen it. You've already been in it. You've been in the trenches with them already. And now it's keeping that secure and helping them build their future.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. So you are located in Edmonton, Alberta.
Yes.
So how do you work with clients, and are you certified to work with clients outside of your province, or how does that work?
Yes, great question. So I'm licensed as an advisor and securities broker in the provinces of Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia. However, my certified divorce financial analyst designation is a national designation. So I am certified to work in all provinces as a CDFA professional. And how it works, with other jurisdictions is this glorious Zoom or Teams or emails or anything like that. For my purposes, I don't necessarily have to be, in Vancouver, where you're at, or, in this day and age. For me, I just need the financial information, of both parties to be able to, come up and decipher an analysis based on that situation. And that I can do from anywhere.
Right. Yeah, that's great. That's great to know. It allows you so much flexibility.
For sure.
Yeah, that's great. And so typically in divorce, it's already such a costly experience, and going through lawyers already sends a lot of people high stress situations. So working with other professionals, sometimes as a coach, I find it difficult to explain how working with people that are really specified in certain areas of the divorce, certain aspects, will save you money in the whole thing at the end of the day. So how do you fit into that process? How do your fee structure works? And do you believe that using a CDFA will actually save them a lot of money in the process?
Yeah, no, fair enough. You know what, I do agree. So, to kind of, come back, I, much like a lawyer or any other professional, I bill for my time on an hourly basis. If I'm working with an individual, I have an individual, retainer agreement. If I'm working with a lawyer, I have a lawyer retainer agreement. And so where the cost savings essentially comes in, and I don't mean to speak out of turn, but I think that if you talk to any family lawyer, they understand that they are not experts in the financial aspects of divorce. They are experts in the law, just like I am not a lawyer and I cannot give legal advice. I think 9 times out of 10, if they could, would pass off the financial analytics burden to somebody else, a CDFA such as myself. So when you talk about, the billable hours, or how much time outside of the legal, things that a lawyer is dealing with, and having to try to crunch the numbers and do the best that they can with the knowledge that they, have, as limited as it may be in some cases, that's all billable time while they're trying to figure out, as opposed to calling in myself, the CDFA, to here it all is. Here's this side, here's that side. We need you to do an analysis. And you know what, Jason, you go ahead and you focus on the financial aspect of this, and I will focus on the legal aspect of this for my client.
Right. Yeah, I think that's so key. And I think the message here at the end of the day is that it does take a team, and the team players on a divorce team are working together. Lawyers appreciate, I think most of them anyway, just the ones that I've spoken to, and quite a few, appreciate when people can bring their expertise into the process to really make it flow better. And the more information the client has, the better informed decisions they can make. And by just creating clarity for everybody on the financial front is a huge component of creating a more positive outcome in divorce. So I think that your role is super integral to the process. And if anyone's going through divorce and they're even at the early stages, then reaching out to someone like you is a really smart decision financially, and to help navigate it even on an emotional level.
Well, thank you very much for that. And, where a lot of the attorneys that I've talked to really found a lot of value in my designation, and me as a whole, is the fact that my designation qualifies me to testify in court as an expert witness. So, which is important to a lot of lawyers, because I can come in as the expert with, as an uninterested third party, and be able to back up my analysis and my findings in court. My designation gives me the credibility to do that.
And that's hugely helpful in the process, to just add that sense of clarity for everyone. Yeah. Well, that's great, Jason. Well, it was so nice chatting with you today. I'm really impressed by what you do, and I think that you really have a key role in the divorce process. And I look forward to great success in the future and staying in touch.
Well, thank you very much, Cindy, and thank you very much for this. I wish you all the best. I'm excited to work together as time goes on, and I see great value in what you do as a coach. I see it all the time, and so my hat off to you as well. So thank you very much.
Great, thanks, Jason. Divorce coaching company, a practice where I support clients going through the divorce process, either pre, during, or post-divorce, really helping them, guide them through this process. Because I think initially everyone thinks when you go through divorce, the first call you need to make is to a lawyer, when in actual fact it should be to a divorce coach, because I can help navigate the process in terms of what type of divorce they want, set them up with some really vetted professionals that will support them along the way, and then really think about what it is that they want moving forward, and not spend the tens of thousands of dollars that your lawyer will end up charging you right off the bat.
As a certified divorce financial analyst, basically what I do is I take all of the financial information pertaining to a divorce to assist in the litigation process, or hoping to avoid court and help out with settlement agreements. And I've been practicing as a CDFA since November of 2020 when I got my designation, but I've been a financial advisor licensed in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia for 14 years now.